Since France took back Germany's rewards after winning the Tour de France, they wanted to regain power among the Allies, and restarting the tank production is one of the plans. So the Minister of War decided to start production of transition tanks. But France's pre-war tanks were all outdated, and the Allies are lacking tank that can compete with the German Tiger II. So the ARL-44 was born. But the design of the ARL-44 hull was still meant to cross trenches. The outdated suspension and transmission, lack of a powerful engine made the ARL-44 become a failure. Today's theme of the fictional tank tutorial is the French post-war light tank. But before we get into the main topic, we have to understand the doctrine and tank development history of France. The AMX 13-ton was a light tank designed as an air-portable vehicle, one of the most well-known French post-war tanks, with a total of 7,700 built and used worldwide. It's still the most produced tank in Western Europe and France. We will be using the AMX 13-ton as a reference for our fictional tank today. So let's get started. First, pick a French flag, then rotate 90 degrees. Enlarge the flag and only place the white part. Sorry, where are we? Oh yeah, tank tutorial. So first up, we will be making the hull. The French light tank has to meet the requirement of being light and small enough to be air portable, so the hull should not be huge. Here I adjusted my hull to only 5 meters long, which is small enough for a light tank. At the same time doesn't fucked up your internal spaces in Sprocket. Next up, I adjusted my upper front plate by pulling the edge backward. Here you can check your plate angle by using the face. Another iconic characteristic about the French light tank is the heavily angled upper front plate to improve the effective thickness. But because the armor plate is so thin, that made the idea as pointless like the margin outlined during World War II. Also don't forget about to adjust the rear plate, which everyone wants to put a HE in it. Now you can adjust your wheels and tracks to make it looks more like a light tank. Adjust the width of the track so your tank will look thinner. Here I use the default size for the wheels, since I think everything is perfect by far. I moved back the idler wheel to attach to the tank hull, adjust the spacing and width of the wheels, and finally change the wheels looking. And here we got a base hull shape. To increase the internal spaces and also a better looking, I split the edge to create a new horizontal edge. Adjust the upper front hull back so it doesn't look weird. Now, switch to faces and select the part where we just split. Extend it to create a box. Remember to check if you mirror mode are selected or the other side won't extend automatically. Pull the face furthermore. Don't over the track's width, then you will be good. Don't forget to make the sponsons angle too. And now, we are ready to decorate our tank. You can use different parts to decorate your tank exterior with your own style. Because the engine of my tank is rear mounted, so I placed my exhaust and vents at the rear. You surely want to place more radiator vents for your tank to prevent it burning like a German late war tank. Put your driver port at the front of your tank. Add some more viewports for a better view. Put some headlight and rear light that is quite useless for Sprocket. Placed some tools and fire extinguisher on the sponson, and some towing cables which you pretty much won't use a light tank to tow stuff. I placed a piece of fender on both sides of my tank. Hide the annoying stick inside your tank. Add a mud guard on the upper front plate using the trench tail method. Adjust the size of it. And finally, give your driver a crew hatches. You had now done your hull decoration. We are finally entering the turret part, which is also the most complicated part. we will be making an oscillating turret for our light tank like the French try to give their every single tank project during the 1940s to 1950s. The oscillating turret gives the advantage of being able to install a big caliber gun and its autoloader in a smaller turret, while keeping its fast firing ability, since it doesn't have to move the gun back to a specific angle to reload, saving the time to move the gun back on target. First, I'm shaping the upper part of my turret, where the main gun is located. I shaped my turret into a cube shape first, which got removed by the previous update, and replaced with the old default shape, so I have to save the turret shape in my compartment file. I adjusted my turret to both length and width of 1.5 meters, which is the diameter of the turret ring. Next, I selected the roof faces and make the turret lower, because that part will be the turret base layer. Then, I selected the same faces again, and extended it to create the second layer of my turret. Select the top edge of the turret front, and move it backward, to create an angled plate of the turret. After that, I select the vertical edge of the second layer, split it to create a separate layer. Don't forget to readjust the frontal angle if it looks weird. Now, to create the turret bustle, where contained the gun autoloader, select the rear upper part of which we just split, extend it and pull it backward. To make the turret looks more vivid, I extended the roof faces for adding a short layer. Then, I slightly angled the edges of the turret rear and both sides. Adjust the front angle to align with the second layer's angle. After then, I made the first layer or the turret base narrow by adjusting the edge of each side. Increase the smooth angle to make the turret looks cast. Next up, I split the lower edge 2 times to create more vertices, while experiencing the annoying edge not found bug. Hamish, please fix it, I beg you. I also split the lower part of the both sides, to create even more vertices. Then I started moving the vertices I had just created, to make a spot for empty shell ejection from the autoloader. This part isn't necessary to be make. If you don't like your tank to be complicated or hard to learn, then you may just skip to the next step, which I will be fixing the lower part of the turret with the extra edge I created. You can adjust the turret position higher to make the shaping process easier. After finishing the upper part of the turret, we will be making the lower part of the turret, aka the collar. First, put a turret right on top of the upper turret to make it spin with the main gun. I once again start shaping with my saved cube turret with the same length and width as the 1.5 meter ring diameter, and will prove to be a mistake later. So you can make it bigger than 1.5 meters, like 2 meters or 2.5 meters. Don't over your hull width, and you will be fine. Now, I will be splitting the edge until it has 4 faces on front, rear and both sides of the turret. We will be using a hexadecagon to shape a simple circular ring. I'm now comparing the collar with the size of the upper turret. Then I lower the height of the collar, move the turret to anywhere you can shape it easily. After done with the height, I'm now started shaping the collar by adjusting the vertical edges and trying to make it looks like a circle. I'm now adjusting the inner vertices to make them fit the outer vertices. After that, I select the inner faces to extend them pull them down to create a space for the upper turret. Some small adjustments. After everything is done, I put back the collar for measurement, then I realize the size is too small, so I take it back out and readjust it. I also adjust the upper turret to make it looks better with the collar. After done with the adjustment, I'm now shaping the collar bulge part which attached to the upper turret with a pivot point. Then, we can put shimmer circular vent on both sides of the turret to pretend it's the pivot point of the turret. Now, I'm splitting the collar frontal part to create a notch for the gun depression. This is also not a necessary part of the tank, you can skip it if you want. I move the turret up and adjust the vertices to create a notched shape, and now we can place the main gun for the tank. Because of the oscillating turret, you can choose from 75mm, 90mm, and 105mm guns for it, which is a pretty large caliber for a light tank. Adjust the gun stats by yourself. I'm here going for the maximum shell length to having a high penetration, and also better gun handling. Because of the small hull size, the tank doesn't have enough space for extra shells, only stored on the drums inside the autoloader with 12 to 16 shells and only 3 crews, a driver, a gunner, and a commander. Finally, we can now decorate our turret. We can create a coaxial machine gun with putting a machine gun port next to the main gun and hide the base inside the turret. About the engine. A V8 engine with 2 to 3 liter displacement will be enough for a light tank. Using a bigger engine doesn't necessarily give the tank more speed, but increases more unnecessary weight. To make the retreating speed of the tank as fast as going forward, I made the gear ratio of the forward and reverse being the same. Here's a tactic with using a small fuel barrel act as a fake smoke grenade launcher, which a lot of players already know about it. And finally, we will be painting our tank with primary or camouflage. Make your own favorite one. Last, don't forget about the iconic French emblem decal. And congratulations, you had finished a French post-war light tank style fictional tank. Now, share your tank or skills with your friend, making your creativity be used in Sprocket. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you like this video. I will be making more videos in the future, so stay tuned. Good luck, and have a nice day.